Alright guys, Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LGBT. If you like this video, please feel free to like this video. And if you want to, please feel free to subscribe to the video. I really didn't want to talk about this, but I guess I will talk about it. It's still a subject that's kind of like weighing kind of heavy on my conscience, and I'm still gonna speak about it though. But we're approaching like Hermes Ascardone's birthday, which is the 15th of August. And I understand there's a lot going on in the world right now. I understand that there's this pandemic that's going on right now, and also there is, you see police are out of control like usual. We always known the police to be out of control, of course, and we also see the fact that there's the federal agents are coming in the cities now. Trump is trying to now postpone elections, which just kind of gives me a clue that he's really just trying to hold on to power, and that by postponing elections he's trying to implement new things and new policies that will be detrimental to just the overall well-being of society. But anyhow, I don't want to sound like a pessimist or anything like that. I really don't want to sound in a pessimist manner, but a lot of people come to me and say, Nip was one of your guys. Like, Nip was your guy. He was although you were quote unquote the type of dude who would just be on the outside looking in, basically, that was your guy. And I said, yeah, it's understandable how y'all feel about it, but I said to myself that it's very complicated, because I do want justice for Nip. I do want to get to the bottom of it. I want to know, like, really what happened. What's the overall thing behind it? Who were the key players involved? I want to know all of that. I want to know how it was set up. I want to know who set it up. I want to know what exactly went down. I mean, I don't want to buy into conspiracy theories and things like that. I don't want to do that. I want to know, what happened. But, I'm not going to say any names or anything like that. Because it's not my place to really say any names. But what I will say is I'm kind of surprised at the lack of energy being put in to get to the bottom of this case by his homies, let's just say his label mates. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm really surprised that there's not really any effort, or at least it doesn't seem like there's any efforts going behind finding out what the bottom line is, what really went down, because I was trying to even myself find the court dates and things like that. I was trying my best to try to find the court dates, try to find, okay, when's trial taking place, things like that, and I really couldn't even find that. I was trying my utmost to do that, and in order for me to find that, I would have had to pay like some, I think it's like some $3,000 to to look at records and things like that. And one of the homies in the hood, he later told me, when the court date and things was, but it just seems like everything has been swept under the rug in regards to this. And Rick Ross said it best, he didn't just impact Los Angeles, he impacted the world. He really impacted the world, and it's just really sad that it's just kind of swept away. I was critical of the whole Grammys and things like that. And the reason why I was critical of the whole Grammys and whatnot is because I just feel like it was just given as a consolation prize to say, okay, yeah, here you go. Here's your flowers. You're in the ground already. You transition, so we'll just give you a little flowers. And again, I would say, like, the love when he was alive, it's hard for me to describe because I don't know what to say anymore. I really don't know what to say. But I'm just kind of surprised that the lack of energy put in to find out, to get to the bottom of this situation. I'm really surprised at it, and I feel bad almost because there's only so much I can do. I really don't know where to start because of the simple fact that I know it sounds crazy, but I'm just kind of, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really even feel comfortable asking questions about these whole things and about this situation to Black Sam, to his father, to his mother, because it's just, I just don't want to like strike a nerve. You feel me? I really don't. And I'm just the homie. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I was just the guy in the background. You know what I mean? That he would just talk to sometimes, chop it up with, let me hear some new music, ask my opinion on some certain musics and stuff like that. But I just don't know, man, because there was an incident that happened recently, and and if I was a rapper, I would have jumped right on it. I would have pulled some Jay-Z Super Ugly, because I think what happened is when Nas and Jay-Z were beefing, I think Nas put out Ether. He might have put out Ether, and then within 24 hours, Jay-Z made Super Ugly. And no disrespect to Nas, I like him. He's a great MC, but Super Ugly murked him, because all of that was based on facts. He didn't make up, like, Jay-Z, like Nas said some things like Rockefeller Records, but Jay, everything he said was facts. He was like, me and such have more in common. Get it? More in Carmen. I something like I skeeted in your Jeep and left condoms on your baby seat. Like he came with like real stuff. You know what I mean? He didn't come with just fakeness. You feel me? And that's no disrespect to Nas, but the fact that he recorded it 24 hours, with after the diss, just goes to show you what kind of savage he really was when it came to the mic, or I should say that he really is. And so, Takashi 6ix9ine, has some comments about, Nip Hussle and how he went out and things like that. And I can't tell another man what to do or anything like that. But if I was a rapper, you know, and I was on that All Money In label, my first response would be to hop right in that booth within a couple of minutes that I heard this, you know, and give it to 6ix9ine, and then be like, okay, you know, if I come to New York and I see you, you know, I'm gonna talk to you about this, you know. And I'm sorry to say it, but we haven't seen that, you know, we haven't seen that energy from them. You know, I really don't know, man. It's really hard to tell who's sincere and who's not sincere in this whole situation. But from what I see, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to just keep it 100. From what I see, and I'm not trying to even throw shots at anybody. That's why I'm not saying nobody's name or anything. But from like the things I see, the people who are sincere about getting justice, who knew him and things like that, are those who maybe are not in the music business or don't rap or anything like that. And I'm talking about LA politics. Politics wise, I'm talking about LA. I'm talking about the immediate area in LA where we come from. It seems like the people who knew him outside, that weren't surrounded by him in the music realm, are the ones who are pushing the hardest, who want it. But it seems like, I'm not trying to say like don't get your bag, because at the end of the day, I understand life goes on. Life goes on, you know what I mean? But while you're getting your bag, man, at least put some kind of effort into, you know, getting justice for the homie who showed you a different way to get the bag. You know what I mean? Who basically laced you guys on some stuff that maybe you guys wouldn't be laced on. You know, and that's, and this video was sparked by another close associate, Nip, who said that, you know, you know, he doesn't feel the energy that is going on to get justice for him. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna, I mean, there was one rapper, and I don't want to say this, I don't want to put this energy into the air, but I don't know who this rapper was. He was a local rapper or something like that. And he said, and he said a bar that was, it had to do with, you know, he said something about Nipsey Hussle in the bar, okay? And then when he was asked about that, you know, he was saying that, you know, that the reason why he said that is because, you know, he gets respect from his homies, and, you know, Nipsey Hussle's homies don't like him. And I just hope that that wasn't based on no truth, you know what I mean? I understand everybody has their different ways of grieving and stuff like that, but I can only speak from my perspective, you know, because of the simple fact that, you know, it's just, all of a sudden to me, it just feels like it's swept under the rug. And it feels like those who were in the music circle with him are, I understand you gotta build your own career and stuff like that. I get it, you know, but at the same time, it's like, you know, at least kind of try to reciprocate what was shown to you by one of the most genuine people I knew, you know. And, you know, don't get it twisted. And I'm just gonna end this video right here because, you know, I really don't want to get emotional about it, because I'm a type of dude that behind closed doors, I'll get emotional where nobody can see it. But, sometimes talking about certain things, it brings out certain emotions in me. And I was already kind of keen on like Eritrea and their struggle and the 30-year war in which they endured to get their sovereignty, But I would be a fool if I didn't say that Nip made me love Eritreans more. I have run into Eritreans before Nip. Don't get it twisted. I grew when I first came to California a while back. One of my good friends, one of the close family friends, married an Eritrean. So I was always like in the loop, but it just put me more in the loop once we, got acquainted with one another. And he just, to me, he just redefined what the character of an Eritrean, meaning the resilience, the humility, the sincerity, the everything that I have seen from Eritreans. The mellow, laid back, because he was like the type of dude to be sleepy, like sleepy eyed. You know what I mean? And so, I just really resonated with that. And I mean, I don't know what I can do, to really give homie justice. The only thing I can do really is just, support him and buy his merch, you know what I mean, and do things like that. And I guess, he would have wanted me to support his homies, on the All Money In team, and so I can do that as well, but I just kind of wish they would reciprocate the energy he left in the music realm and put that towards finding out the bottom of, what really happened and try to connect the pieces to the puzzle. I really wish they can do that. I know they post on Instagram and stuff like that. They post like posts of him and things like that. I know they do it on Instagram and what have you. I understand that, and it's noble gestures to do that. But I just wish it was a bit different. You know what I mean? In terms of showing him love. I don't know what else to say. About it. Sometimes I get kind of sad thinking about it, without giving too much information away. I mean, what I can say is like, what happened and what transpired is kind of similar to what my pops went through when Amilcar Cabral was assassinated. My pops was never the same. Although on the surface he looked cool, he looked calm and collected, things like that. I knew he was deeply affected, by his death, since he impacted my dad's life a lot, and changed the trajectory of my dad's life, because my dad was never a guerrilla, before the time. He was always into trade and commerce and stuff like that, and it just unleashed a new side of him that made him more of a complete human being. I think that's what my dad appreciated about him, that he brought out abilities in him that he maybe never knew he had. And as far as Nip dying and stuff like that, on the surface, yeah, you gotta have a cool, calm, and collected surface, but deep inside, I just hate that, we didn't even see the best version of Nip in the music realm. In the music side of things, he was coming into his own even more so, you know. When you listen to, you know, he just was becoming more seasoned and things like that, and really carving his own type of lane with his style of how he was rapping and stuff like that, you know. I wouldn't say that Nip's story is cookie cutter of Malcolm X, but there's some similarities in it, you know. And I was gonna make this as a separate video, but I guess I'll make it one video, you know, just so I can talk about it, you know, because at the end of the day, the YouTube platform, the reason why I have this YouTube platform is to voice my opinion, because believe it or not, in real life, I'm pretty much to myself a lot of the time in real life, because I understand, from what I understand, really off of YouTube, nobody really wants to hear, you know, your side of things, you know, because they're going through things of their own, and they maybe have different emotions going on themselves, so you can't really like just sit down and talk about these things that you talk about on YouTube most of the time. So, you know, I will just get, you know, come off about, you know, the similarities between Nip and Malcolm X. You know, one thing I will say is that, you know, with Nip, you know, as an adolescent, you know, like Malcolm X, he started off good. He's super smart, very, very intelligent, high in his class and stuff like that. And you know, when he got into young adulthood and things like that, like Malcolm X, he turned to the streets, you know. And that turning to the streets was really based off of, you know, just, I guess, not really having the resources available to do what it is that he wanted to do. And, you know, luckily, he didn't have to go do a prison bid that Malcolm X did. But one thing I will say is that, you know, there was a sense of like, when you saw Nip when he was younger and stuff like that, you can kind of see in his face, you know, you can kind of see kind of I want to say a coldness about him when he was doing what he was doing on the streets. And that was the same thing with Malcolm X. You know, it was the same thing. And, you know, what kind of changed that is they both took trips. You know, Malcolm X went to Mecca, and, you know, Nip went back home to Eritrea, and it kind of just put a fire under Nip, that although, you know, even when he got back here and he still was dangling, dabbing in the streets and stuff like that, he knew that he had a bigger purpose, you know, from seeing what was going on back home. You know, he knew that his purpose was bigger. And I think that's the same thing that Malcolm X found too. One thing too I want to say is that, you know, yeah, I'm not gonna really, I don't really want to talk too much game politics and stuff like that, because, you know, just for the sake of my well-being in Los Angeles, because put it this way, homies do be checking the YouTube, man. Homies do be checking the YouTube, and there's a lot of gang politics involved, but what I understand from just street gangs in general, just street gangs in general, not just rolling 60s, not just A-Trays, not just Pyru, not just P-Stones. What I understand from street gangs is that there really isn't no loyalty, and there really isn't no honor. And it's basically almost like parasitic. The average mentality of a lot of people on the turf is, what can you do for me? How can you better my situation? You know what I mean? It really has nothing to do with how can you better the overall situation for everybody. And I'm sorry to say it, but I think that change is going to be far off. I was on, I think earlier, I was on Western in Gardena, and I usually go in the morning to get my my stuff for the day, like my food for the day, since I don't really have time to eat on the go, or let's just say sit down and eat. I really don't have time to do that most of the time because I'm running around. But even someone got shot, up the street, and where I usually park to get my stuff, and the crazy thing about it is they got shot like 5 minutes before I got there. You know what I mean? And I just think to myself, that could have been me, And so we're a long ways off before the energy that's put in gangbanging, that energy is put into community building. We're a long ways off from it. Still very, see, I want to say it's, I don't even know, man. I don't even know what to say anymore about it. But I'm just going to stop there. I will do a tribute for him on August 15th, which is his birthday. It's really funny because I don't believe in zodiacs. I don't follow zodiacs that much. I really don't. I'm not like a big zodiac person. But what I will say is that my birthday falls on July 9th. But it seems like those who are in my close circle, like, those who are friends with me or who have been friends with me are all Leos, man. Like, it's crazy. I don't know why that is, but I have like many Leo friends. I have hella Leo friends. And when I mean friends, I mean those who I would go out on my shield for. Not just associates, but real ones. I don't know why that is, bro. I don't like go into reading charts or anything like that, or or let's just say I don't go into believing what a chart says or anything like that, but I don't know, maybe there's a divine reason behind me having, Leo friends, like a lot of Leo friends. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. And I mentioned that just because of the simple fact that Nip, he a Leo. And a couple other homies are too, But yeah, I'm just gonna end it with this. It just seems like it was swept under the rug, like his death, his trial. It's just being swept under the rug, and it's like, I don't know. It's just unfortunate, man. Real unfortunate. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments about the whole situation. And maybe we can have a StreamYard on August 15th to commemorate him. Maybe we can talk about some of our favorite verses from his songs, or talk about memories that you may have had with him, But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. Fu was signing out. Jarama.